Okay, got a time machine for you here today. The DeLorean DMC-12 from Back to the Future, a Hot Wheels model that's really actually very well done. A lot more well done than you ever imagine. Let's take a look at the car right now. You can see the side profile of the car. You see that it's got the I have no idea. Look, I'm not a Back to the Future fanatic. Okay, so don't think I'm going to be able to describe this car accurately for you in terms of the Back to the Future features. All right, some of them I'll recognize, some of them I will not. So, upper left on the back tailgate, we've got some sort of time machine apparatus back there that would not occur on a regular DeLorean, obviously. Then we got the little red side marker on there, very nicely done. And we've got a couple of what I assume are some more time machine additions there. Look like some sort of piping or wiring that go around the wheel hub up to the roof of the car and go up to something that almost looks like a light bar up there. Got a little bit more on the back tailgate. The engine actually is in black there and kind of sticks out from the back tailgate. Bumper done in black. Wheels done in, how many spokes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 spokes. Now, I believe, actually, I looked at the Back to the Future machine and it looked like it had something more like 20 spokes. But the fact that Hot Wheels chose this wheel for the car is pretty darn good. They probably already had it in their library of wheels, but they did a pretty good match on it. Obviously, they didn't want to build a wheel just for this particular car, but they did a good job with it. I like it. Going on around, you see they modeled the keyhole in the door. They modeled the handle in the door, which, by the way, is really low. I can only imagine on those gull wing doors, they open up like airplane wings or bird wings. I can only imagine having to reach way down there to open the door. It would be kind of a hassle. You also see in the door the little small cutout there for the window. The entire window, obviously, in this car does not roll down, but only half of the window will roll down. So if you're going to McDonald's to get yourself a hamburger through the drive-thru, you're going to have to talk to the drive-thru person through that little small window and hand your money back and forth and your burgers through the little small window. In the back quarter panel, you can see more of the engine there. Nicely done. Along the side of the car, I believe that is not a protector for the paint, but I believe that's a protector. I believe that's actually some more of the time machine material. Probably, once again, some wiring, maybe a piping, something along those lines, because it goes all the way up to the front fender well, and it goes up and over the fender well. If you look at the Back to the Future time machine photographs on the web, or you watch the movie, you'll see that there's actually some wiring that goes above the wheel well. You come on around, and there's a blue area there. That's some electronics for the time machine. Bumper's done very well, and you'll see that there is a scoop on the front there for the air dam. I like the blue windows. Those set the car off very well. Now, one thing that's not necessarily realistic is the silver paint on there. Yes, the car is a stainless steel, which would make it silver normally. But this is a metal flake silver, which, yes, it adds a lot to the car, but the actual car would not be metal flake. Okay, those cars were not painted. They were just stainless steel. Not very realistic there. Moving on to the front right quarter panel of the vehicle, you can see a couple of interesting things here. One thing I really like is I just like the look of the car from this angle. It's got a good angular, everything's in angles, triangles. So that's a shape that particularly appeals to me, but they've done it well with Hot Wheels. The headlight grill area, bumper, everything really looks sleek in this particular instance. You can see well into the windshield there, that blue tinted windshield, which is actually very realistic, the blue tint. Many cars back in those days had blue tinted windshields. You can see it almost looks as though if you're driving in the United States, that car doesn't have a steering wheel, but I know that it does. So the steering wheel must be mounted really low in that particular vehicle. Looking at the front of the car, you can see that the hood lines are all there, where I assume you would open the hood on a DeLorean. You have the headlights. They're very well done. You have the DMC in the grille. Like that a lot. Got the little grill lines. On the bumper, you see more of the Back to the Future time machine material. You see the little bumps on the bumper. That's not on the actual real car. So don't be mistaken. And then on the dam in front of the car, underneath the fender, you'll find the bumper, you'll find the scoop, and it has the turn signals modeled in there as well. So if you're modding cars, you might want to paint those orange because they're in real life painted orange. Front left corner of the car, you can see the DMC on the grille, done very well once again. See the headlights. Once again, you can see the time machine components of the bumper there. It looks like they actually connect, probably supposed to be wiring, that blue box that you see on the quarter panel there to the blue box on the other quarter panel on the far side of the front side there, right quarter panel. I think the person who painted this had a bad day at the office that day, because if you look at the real life time machine in photos, you'll see that blue box, yes, it is blue. It's a light blue. But this particular instance for this car, it looks like somebody just took their paintbrush and just very quickly blobbed on some blue there. There wasn't a lot of attention to detail given. But you can see the black wiring coming out of that blue box. Left side of the car, you can see the blue blob a little better there. Obvious the paint really spilled over onto the fender well. Not a great job, whoever did that. At least on this particular side, it's a solid blob. On the other side, it's even worse. Coming on down, you can see the lines of the car very well. Once again, very triangular. You can see the time machine components in black there coming across the door. Now, that looks like a solid line. I'm not sure how you're supposed to actually get that door open, or how those wires are supposed to conduct electricity through a door that supposedly opens. That's a good, interesting question for you movie fans. Rear quarter panel shows the Delorean on the bumper very well. Shows the time machine components coming out of the tailgate, which I'm not familiar with what those are supposed to represent. I suspect, given it didn't say in the movie, somebody will just make something up in movie land and present it to us. Tail lights are done well in red there. Then you can actually see the license plate a little bit back there. From the rear, you can see the DeLorean once again on the rear bumper. It's not done that well. I think the tempo might have been damaged before it was put on there. It's if you didn't necessarily know what you were reading, you might not understand even what it says. The taillights, once again, are done very well in orange and in red. I mentioned a moment ago they were in in red, but they are done in orange and red. Nice touch. You got the out of time. Once again, that tempo is off center, and it looks like it might have been damaged before it was even placed on the car. Getting some engine elements there, which is very cool. I like that. Right rear quarter panel shows an engine component in the window there. Not sure if that's a exhaust manifold or an intake. One thing I do notice is that there's no glass pane. There's no blue glass. Is that supposed to be there, Back to the Future fans? Or is that not supposed to be there, Back to the Future fans? Top-down view of the car shows some very interesting things. It shows the dashboard really well. You see that steering wheel that I was talking about earlier? There it is. You can see the gull wings, where the hinges would be on the roof. Very nicely done by Hot Wheels. They didn't leave it out. You can see the engine components. In fact, you can see the little fan blades for what would be probably, that'd be a flat 6 on that car. You can see some probably exhaust manifold items in the car. And then there's some things more towards the passenger cabin that I couldn't tell you what they are, and they're probably time machine related. And then there's those two big monster, I don't know, they remind me of stadium speakers for a concert or something. Those big elements out the rear. obviously related to the time machine. Overall, very well done on the roof there. The bottom of the car is made out of plastic, and black plastic that is. And just to let you know, some of these Hot Wheels cars are very hard to photograph on the bottom of the car. This is one that's hard to photograph because it has like a texture to it, okay? And it just doesn't, the contrast doesn't show up in the photograph the way you want it to. Although I've done probably about as good a job as I'm going to be able to do here. Up front, you can see what appears to be more time machine related material by that front rivet. It almost looks like a muffler of some sort, but it has gadgetry running between it. It's definitely not steering linkage related or anything along those lines. Then coming backwards to the rear of the car, you can see some supposedly, I suppose, piping, perhaps some sort of cooling radiator of some sort. You got a little bit of steering linkage there. Then you get into the Hot Wheels logo itself. More towards the top there, you'll see some, once again, what I assume is time machine related material at the top and the bottom there. Kind of like a little fan and a little rectangle of sort and lines coming out of it. All movie nonsense. Then you've got something that you don't often see, a copyright for Universal Studios, which is very interesting. Then you got made in, I believe that is Malaysia, Mattel Inc. And then there's what is that, D19? I believe that's D19 on there. Back to the Future Time Machine stamped into the bottom of the car. Very cool. Coming on back to the rear, you've got a couple of time machine related items there at the very, very rear beyond the rivet. And then between the two rear tires, you've got some sort of linkage, transmission. Overall, very nicely done car. Hot Wheels didn't knock it out of the park, although they put a lot of effort into it, especially the bottom of the car here. The more I look at the bottom of the car, the more I'm amazed they put that much effort into the bottom of a car. Now, if they'd taken a little bit of that effort and put it into the top of the car, this could have been a fantastic car, such as a little bit of tempo, get the tempo right, not damaged, that sort of thing. Overall, a very nicely done Hot Wheels car. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you have a great day.